Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I want to walk you guys through a 1v1 between an Arcane Mage and an LE Shaman and how to beat the LE Shaman as the Arcane Mage, or to put yourself in the most favorable position to actually take the duel. So here, just right away guys, I want to jump into my talents, my spec, and then we're going to hop into the game so we can kind of go over play style, counterplay, objectives, and things like that. But first things first, we are going Amplification. You could think about going Arcane Familiar, but I personally like Amplification for the larger burst against Shamans, take them down a bit easier in dampening, but I think you would do fine with Arcane Familiar as well. For the second one, I'm actually taking Slipstream, and I think this is very interesting. Shimmer, you take like 90% of the time, 99% of the time, but in this specific duel, Elemental Shamans have an ability called Lightning Lasso that does a ton of damage and stuns you, and if you don't have a way out every lasso, they're just going to run away, turtle for each lasso, get the lasso off, and kill you in dampening with every single lightning lasso. So you need a way to get out of every single one. How do you do that? Boom, Slipstream. So Slipstream, you might be like, how does that get you out of lasso? It makes your blink act as blink instead of shimmer, and normal blink, if you guys have forgotten, frees you from stuns and bonds on a 15-second cooldown. So every time you get lassoed, boom, you just throw out the blink, and you can also displace for another blink back, which means you can essentially break two different stuns, which is just super, super, super powerful, right? So the clear casting allows arcane missiles to be channeled while moving, isn't really necessary, and evocation can be channeled while moving, once again, isn't really necessary, although you can take advantage of those things. It's not why you're taking this talent. So Mana Shield you don't want to take because it would make you go out of mana. Shimmer you don't want to take because it would replace Blink and allow you to not blink out of those stuns. But Slipstream, you don't really care about the talent in itself, but it doesn't have the negative effects of Shimmer and Mana Shield, so you do go ahead and take Slipstream there. And Canner's Flow, pretty basic talent here, just gives you extra spell power. You're pretty much always taking Canner's Flow. In this video that I'm about to show you, I think I am actually playing Charged Up. Charged Up and Supernova, guys, both, I kind of use them interchangeably. The more and more I play more matchups, I kind of do like Supernova just for the extra pseudo interrupt, right, knocking people up mid-cast, and it is an instant cast damaging spell, so it actually heals you when you use Supernova with that quick thinking Azurite trait, which I'll go over here in a second. But with Charged Up, it takes a global away from both of those things, so I've been liking it less. However, Charged Up is a bit more burst, a bit more damage, so you can go either one here, kind of based on playstyle, based on preference. Chrono Shift, incredible. Lock it in always. I've said this before, I'll say it again. 50% slow and 50% movement increase allows for you to actually kite, and it's just so effective. Have to go with the Chrono Shift here. Nether Tempest counts as an instant cast damaging spell, so you really want to use that Nether Tempest to your advantage to proc quick thinking on a very low cost mana spell, right? 1500 mana means you can pretty much spam this indefinitely, which gives you a way, even if you don't want a Nether Tempest, a way to heal consistently every single global, even if you're pretty much out of mana. Now, Arcane Orb, it's an instant cast damaging spell, so it's going to heal you. It's going to allow you to rotate through stacks better, allow you to get the Palm Arcane Blast better. Arcane Orb, super good for this reason. You could think about Time Anomaly. I don't think overpowered quite as the value, but I really do like Arcane Orb here in the situation. Trinket, if you get hexed, you could maybe go Adaptation as well, just to break more stuns if you didn't have a blink available, but I kind of like the Trinket here instead. Arcane Empowerment, you can also play Mass Invisibility here to go for an extra reset, or to get a Mass Invis into a Sheep reset or something like that if you really need it. But I think Arcane Empowerment's nice for the extra purge stacks and to get a little bit more pressure out. Temp Shield, just so good. I would just always go with Temp Shield and Master of Escape for that shorter cooldown on the wall. Things to consider, you can maybe go Dampen Magic for a little bit less dot damage. You can maybe go the Massive Visibility, but I think this overall is the best talent and PvP talent breakdown for fighting Elemental Shamans. And then as far as traits, gear, I do this like in a lot of these videos, so I'll just make it quick this time, but stat priority, haste, verse, mastery, crit, enchant, coastal surge, OP, sleeper OP, bunch of haste on the gear. Let's see, my Azurite traits are all quick thinking, quick thinking, quick thinking, quick thinking. The instant cast damaging spells are going to heal me every time I'm using them, and that's really what makes this spec so viable. But yeah, let's hop into a game. Alright guys, so hopping into the game, here we on the Grand Arena. Dampening is already at 4%. We actually decided to start the duel at a little bit into dampening, just because I was dueling a lot of LA Shamans and all the games are going super high into dampening, since we both have so much heals, you know, on either side. So we decided to just start this duel once dampening already began, if you were wondering, you know, why the dampening's already at that mark. But I am playing charged up, so once again, I said you could play Supernova. I would actually maybe prefer Supernova, and in this duel, I am actually playing Adaptation as well, which to me, probably, like, you should probably just be playing Trinket, but the duel is more for playstyle purposes, and I am playing Massive Visibility as well, which can work, but once again, like I said, you could be playing that clear casting talent instead for a bit more damage. But in this this duel, I kind of want to show you guys the play style that I like to play when I'm fighting LE Shamans, and that is line of sight. Try to keep up that Nether Tempest in dampening. When the Shaman can't heal anymore, the battlefield focus is going to proc, and you're going to be able to take him down. But I'm just spamming Arcane Explosion, right? You get pretty low HP. It might seem scary for a second, but if you just spam Arcane Explosion over and over and over, you can get back to full HP. There's not much you can do about it. You just keep them nice and slow, and you know, kind of keep the control on the totems by killing the totems. Hex being casted, you want to try to avoid as much as possible. It actually does fake my kick there, so actually not a great opener at all. And a lot of times you actually do want to save blink, or not a lot of times, almost every time you want to save blink for the lightning lasso coming out. And I think at one point there, at this maybe 20 seconds ago, I actually did not have blink for that lightning lasso, so that's a huge mistake on my end. Definitely want to keep that in mind. But lightning lasso coming out, immediately break it with that blink, removing the stun there, casting the arcane missiles, and there's the battlefield focus. And like, look how much pressure we have. So even if he gets me to 20-30% life, we line of sight, we keep him slowed, we arcane explosion back to full HP, and then we kind of go from there, right? So it's never like, it doesn't feel ever like super scary, even though you can get low HP, especially after a Stormkeeper or the LE Shaman's big burst, like right here. And what I'm doing is just kind of line of sighting for the Stormkeeper. I actually get slowed there. I kill the Earthbind, but he does get that Frost Strike onto me, so I am pretty slow. Here's the charged up once again. Like I said, charged up provides for a little bit more burst. Hex being casted does get immediately adapted out of it. And that's what's kind of nice about adaptation, is you can get out of more hexes more often, and it'll actually break the lightning lasso if you don't have blink up sometimes as well. But I think the trinket's actually kind of nice because it won't waste the charge on the lasso. It'll only work on those hexes that you actually find yourself getting stuck into. So I would say trinket is a little bit more value overall. But like I said, guys, keep up the Nether Tempest, keep up that Chrono Shift, the speed buff on yourself, and the slow onto him as much as possible. And then you can also go for the Arcane Missiles to get a little bit of pressure off when you want as well. And the thing about Arcane Missiles that's so nice in any matchup, but specifically LE Shaman on their line of sighting a lot, is channeling the Arcane Missiles, then having the LE Shaman kind of run away, but then boom, you get to channel it through the pillar, right? Because if you start Arcane Missiles before the pillar, then you can continue to cast even when they do line of sight. Frost Nova the Shaman there, avoid the Hex, clean up the totems, continue Arcane Explosioning, continue healing every single global, and it just doesn't seem like he can generate much pressure, right? If you just continue to line of sight, you don't let them cast, Ice Fury, you don't let them cast Stormkeeper too much onto you, you don't let them cast just sitting out in the open, you use line of sight to your advantage, and you're slowly kind of whittling them down, and you're just permanently full HP, they're not actually getting much damage onto you. And if they ever do get damage on you, boom, you instantly heal back to 100% life. You keep the Nether Tempest, you keep the slows, and eventually, as the game goes on and on, you just are more and more favored because they're spending more and more time on the defensive, catching up, healing, trying to run away and survive, whereas you can play more and more on the offensive, slowing them, keeping up the damage, and as this kind of shifts, you just become more and more favored. Kill that Grounding Totem there, line the Hex, just continue up the pressure. The battlefield focus is on him up at 20 stacks, and I have that transfusion or whatever it's called, the debuff, also taking it, and the Nether Tempest taking it down. So you just play very patient, right? I'm not trying to run at him. I'm not trying to cast Arcane Blast. I'm not trying to, spam Arcane Missiles. Actually, I'm rarely Arcane Missile-ing. I mean, I am here and there, but we don't have to go too aggressive. Don't want to get sheared, though, so definitely fake casting those kicks. But as I push in and start to Arcane Missile, look how much damage I'm taking. 63% life already. So as soon as I start playing aggressive is when I start to die. But as soon as I start just playing back, not trying to push in super hard, keeping up the Nether Tempest, keeping up the slow, but using some type of heal almost every single global cooldown to keep myself, topped. I have damage out onto these totems as well. The totems, I can use Chrono Shift on it or Arcane Barrage on it to gain that Chrono Shift ability, to gain that sprint, to heal me. So killing the totems is actually pretty nice here. We blink out of that lasso, continue pressure onto the Shaman. Like, the main thing is I don't want to get kicked and I don't want to get hexed. Those are the two main things you really want to keep an eye out for, and I don't want to play too aggressive against the Shaman. Once dampening is high enough, right now 37%, the Shaman just won't be able to heal anymore, and then we'll be able to, take the victory. Now, Stormkeeper, this is where he's going to do a lot of damage. We pop Temp Shield, and we pop Wall. We have greater invisibility if we want to as well. Hex coming out, he does get that Hex off, and boom, we adaptation it. Now we're out of that Hex. Once again, Lightning Lasso, boom, we blink out of it. So all of his outs we just have counters for immediately. Now he's at 32% life, definitely on the run now. This just feels so one-sided now for us now. The dampening's at 40%. So waiting for another battlefield focus to proc, waiting for dampening to get a little bit higher. We still have pretty much every defensive cooldown, kind of just hanging out. Dampening's at 41%, then boom, battlefield focus procs again, and we do decide to take him out at that time. Now here's the damage breakdown. We're just doing so much damage, a little bit more damage than him actually. We're actually doing similar amounts of damage, but that healing is what makes a solid difference as well. But guys, that's Arcane versus Ellie. I hope this breakdown helped you out. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you did not enjoy the video, make sure to give it a big thumbs down. Talk to me down below in the comments about what type of videos you guys want to see for next time. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.